morning, good afternoon. Oh shoot, now I'm just remembering something. I gotta do something right quick. But anyways, uh back to what I was saying. Good morning, good afternoon to all of y'all on this, well, at least where I'm at, sunny, 85-degree morning in the fifth largest city. And of course everybody was plugged into the sports world, heard the big news yesterday. News that I didn't even know it was gonna go down. News and hope. Well, let me say this. Let me say it like this. I don't know if I said this on a video recently in the last couple of days, but before this trade went down for Micah Parsons, I truly believe the Packers were going to sit on their knees on this one. But the Packers GM, Brian Gutekunst, he proved me wrong big time. Now, we'll make this a quick video. I ain't going to talk too long. Like I said, I did not see this coming. An hour before the trade went down, I was actually listening to a Packers podcast. It might have been Locked Up Packers, I think I was listening to. But lots of people in that comment section are saying, no, this ain't going to happen. No, this ain't going to happen. I'm saying it needs to happen. I'm saying it needs to happen. But it's not going to happen because in the past, let's say 10 years, you know what? I'll take it back even further. Since the Packers have won the Super Bowl back in 2010, the Packers front office they do this. And this happened throughout the whole tenure with Aaron Rodgers. They noticed the defense needs improvements, but we're not going to do anything about it. We got Aaron Rodgers, right? We got Aaron Rodgers. We don't need to do anything about that. As long as we got Aaron Rodgers, we'll be good. This is probably what Joe Burrow is going to face pretty soon. Maybe. Who knows? But that's how their mentality was. Now, once Aaron Rodgers start becoming more vocal and start becoming more of a star, they realized, the front office, oh, maybe we should do something. So, let's go get Julius Peppers, right? Now, Julius Peppers is going to be, I think he is now, maybe, is a Hall of Famer, no doubt, right? Spending years with the Carolina Panthers and I think a couple years with the Eagles before he went to the Packers. Or was it the Bears? Did he do? No, I don't think he did time with the Eagles. I know he did time with the Bears in Carolina. And I think he went back to Carolina to retire. But anyways, besides the point, they got an older Julius Peppers. They didn't get a prime Julius Peppers. They got an older Julius Peppers, which was still serviceable and improved their defense. And then after he got long in the tooth and Charles Woodson got long in the tooth, they didn't do too much with the defense. They just said, screw it. Forget it. We got Aaron Rodgers. Which frustrated the hell out of Aaron Rodgers. A lot. And then with the new GM, because we ended up getting a new GM after 2018 season. They ended up getting rid of old pudding pop over there, Mike McCarthy. We got Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur now. They ended up doing something. They ended up getting the Smith brothers, and Darius and Preston Smith, Adrian Amos, people like that. They improved their defense a little bit, but it still was not good enough to compete with the faster teams like the 49ers in the 2019 season, especially that NFC Championship game, when I called it that they was going to lose that NFC Championship game because they're way too slow, and fellow Packer fans got mad at me and kicked me out of the Packers fan group because I was keeping it real. And guess what? The Packers got their ass beat by the 49ers in that NFC Championship game in 2019 before the 49ers would play the Kansas City Chiefs for the Kansas City Chiefs' first time. No. Was that their first time winning the Super Bowl? No, I don't think it was, but I know it was their first time, Patrick Mahomes' first time winning. I know the Chiefs been to the Super Bowl before. But anyways, but regardless, they did improve the defense a little bit because Jair Alexander came into form. They did draft him in 2018. And they had a Super Bowl type defense. right? For much of Aaron Rodgers' last few years with Green Bay, they just couldn't. One year I thought they got cheated because they wanted to see Tom Brady in the Super Bowl because Tom Brady was on a new team. You know what season that was. But they just never really got the big player they needed to really certify them actually, and them win the Super Bowl. They'll probably time they, in the last few years of Aaron Rodgers' tenure with the Packers, the only time you probably would say they could have won a Super Bowl was 2020. Some could have said 2021, which is not off because I thought they could have won in 2021 and 2020. But they just never really capitalized defensively and even offensively those last couple of seasons. And then, of course, the team got broken up because Aaron Rodgers left and Devontae Adams left. And I think as of now, the only person that's left from the Aaron Rodgers tenure is probably Jordan Love himself. Because I think everybody else is gone. They got rid of Jair. Aaron Jones is in Minnesota. They just got rid of Kenny Clark from Micah Parsons. So everybody's gone. Rashawn Gary's still there. Never mind. Rashawn Gary's still there. And Jordan Love. And I guess you could count the wide receiver they got. I can't think of his name right now. Both wide receivers. Christian Watson and the other one I can't think of right now. 87. But anyways, make a long story short. Packers fans have been clamoring for a big-time defensive player. They did get one last offseason with Xavier Kinney. He came in and made a big difference, but there was one more piece they absolutely needed to get to probably put them over the edge over the Eagles and Lions, and it was Micah Parsons. Now everybody's like, oh, Micah Parsons can't stop the run. That's the Cowboys. We ain't the Cowboys. With this front line they got, this front line and linebacker core as well, because the linebacker core is not that bad, especially with the second year Adrian Cooper, and everybody's talking about the DVs. I think the DBs will be fine as long as they can get to the quarterback a lot. I think they'll be fine, because when you get to the quarterback a lot and start putting the quarterback in a lot of pressure and make them do stupid stuff, especially lesser quarterbacks, you can tend to get more turnovers and more pressures and more sacks. We'll see how that goes. But this is probably the new age version of getting Reggie White back in '93. This is probably what this is. I'm glad the Packers did it, because if they didn't do it, somebody else probably would have did it. And I think this was going on for the longest time. Probably been, these whole trade negotiations probably been going on for a whole month now. I did not want him to go to the Eagles, but I don't think the Eagles were in contention. I know there was rumors of him going to the Redskins. Yes, I call them that still, because that's what they should be called. But I'm just glad they finally did a move. Now they can really, really compete with the likes of the Eagles, Lions. I don't know about the Vikings. The tide has turned in NFC North once again. The other three teams are probably shaking in their boots right now. Cowboys fans are depressed. That whole city of Dallas is, maybe not the whole city. Cowboys fans are depressed. I think the Maverick fans finally got out of their depressing mode and finally realized that they possibly could have a team that can compete in the Western Conference with OKC and Houston maybe. I think the combination of Anthony Davis, Kyrie when he gets back, and now Cooper, not Cup, but Flag, and the other pieces got should be able to do something in the West. But as far as Cowboys fans are concerned, they thought they had something, didn't they? Oh, we still got CeeDee Lamb. Oh, Dak is paid, and we got Crash Out Boy from Pittsburgh now. Oh, we will be great. Nah, you ain't gonna be great as long as Jerry Jones owns and runs that team. You're never gonna be great. Jerry, just stay alive forever at your same age and keep doing these things. I know Stephen A. Smith, as much as I don't like Stephen A. Smith, but I know Stephen A. Smith had a field day today on first take. But as long as Jerry Jones is the owner of this team, the Cowboy fans will suffer. We don't need Michael Parsons. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You know, you probably going to win with him. Because you're Cowboys. You curse. Jerry said years ago, he prayed to God that if he gave him a third Super Bowl ring, he won't ask for anything else. He said this 20-something years ago. And now look at him. It's 30 years later since the last one. This has been 30 years since they went to the NFC Championship game. They haven't been to the NFC Championship game in 30 years. He sold the soul. It's over. But Jerry, please stay alive forever. You just keep gifting the Packers. The Packers just keep dominating the Cowboys in different ways I couldn't even imagine. On and off the court. Field. It's crazy, man. But anyways, welcome Michael Parsons. Hopefully, we won't get a Damian Lillard 2.0 situation going on here. I know it's two different sports, but I do not want that to happen at all. But everybody's talking about, they gave up too much for Micah Parsons. 2 first-round draft picks will probably be in the lower 20s, most likely, because that's how the Packers finish. Always in the lower mid-20s, because they always go to the playoffs. What else I want to say with this? 188 million, yeah, it's steep, but in order to be great, you gotta pay some cashola out. It's one of the things I always said about the Packers that they don't do, because everybody mentions the Rams, because everybody said the Rams mortgaged their future to get one Super Bowl ring, which is somewhat true, but at the same time, it's like they got one Super Bowl. Yeah, they had one season of debauchery. I think it was the season after, and now they're in playoff contention, possibly Super Bowl contention now. Still, years later, only a couple years later. Yeah, Aaron Donald has retired, but they recoup their losses perfectly now. I don't think they're better than the Packers now, but shoot, at least they're in playoff contention. So, but that's one way it can go, or they can do this and just never win. Hopefully, Jordan Love gets his stays injury free and makes better decisions throwing the ball, and they possibly could win the Super Bowl this year. But we'll see. I'm not making any predictions at all when it comes to that. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut and go on about my day about it. And you guys will probably hear from me every game now. But anyways, shout out to, like I said, Michael Parsons, Brian Gutekunst for making this deal. And I'd like to thank the services of Kenny Clark. I know he's been a main staple for the Packers since 2015. He is a Pro Bowler. I think he is all Pro too. I know people, Cowboy fans, he's Kenny Clark. Well, you got yourself a good player, Asian player. And then, I think he'll be 30 soon. He was injury prone somewhat. Actually, he was injury prone last year, but he played most of the games. I think last year he played with a fractured foot for most of the season. So, you got to give it up to him for doing that. But the Cowboys defense was decimated before Michael Parsons was gone. I think they lost DeMarcus Lawrence. I think he ended up going to Seattle in the offseason. So, yeah. We'll see. I'm out of here. Gone.